Okay, there's a quick video. I don't know whether you can see. Here we go. So this is all the bits and pieces together so far. I had to put them into these frames to be able to solder them up. It was near impossible to be able to hold all of this stuff and try and get it together. And then I discovered that all of these LCDs, when they came with all the soldering bars on them, I had to desolder all of these, and I had copied on my radio stacks the same pinouts as well on them, and I had to desolder all them. It took me like 6 hours yesterday for the desolder everything. But the end result is this here is the whole autopilot unit. Switches for on and off, barometric pressure, heading, speed, altimeter, vertical speed. Printed up the bits and pieces of papers on the book and that on how to put it together and all of that. So it's pretty simple. I have it all in my head now, pretty good. All of these are going together on Megas bar the radio stack. This is the flight control panel. This is nano. This is the only one that I haven't figured out. I'd like to get the flaps running up and down on this, but it doesn't give me a ratio for flaps to do this because flaps are slightly different. I'll talk to you about that. But basically, I should be able to get all of these switches and everything running on this. I've had them all running anyway. It's just a matter of choosing what I'm going to do. I put the starter. This is originally the plan. This is the only one that got anywhere close to being looking like what it originally did, and even at that, it doesn't. So this is to be the startups. These are rudder trim and bits and pieces on it. These are extra 4 switches I just put in. I put auxiliary switches in here and there on them just to be, because I'm sure that we'll need extra ones or people will use them. This is the landing gear. This is going to be park brake, stuff like that. Just trying to make stuff different, look a little different. They're the warning lights for the landing gear and that on it. This one is the park brake light. These also come with, this being the autopilot, these all have lights that are connected to each of the push buttons on them. These push buttons here, I've run out of push buttons. I'm going to swap these out for these black ones. But I have to use these ones for the time being. I got to order another 20 switches. And that's pretty much that. This is going to be the light box. That's what it was. That's the 8x4 of what 12 lights look like. And I'm going to keep it that size because it looks like a decent size where we can either put stickers on or people can put their own stickers on it. What we will have is we will have the top half like that and about the same size again for switches for the bottom. So these are the 12 switches, 12 lights, and put another 4 auxiliary switches on this as well. Once again, I had to put these together just to be able to solder them because it's just becoming another thing. I also discovered I only ordered like 100 feet of wire, and off the top of my head I think this is about 350 feet of wiring in it, maybe more. This is the radio stack, which is the simplest one. This is the first one I'm going to do anyway. And as you can see, it's just the switches, the encoders, the buttons, and the 4 LCDs on it. Them ones I didn't have to take off one side, thank God. Actually, no, they're on the wrong side. I just forgot to take them off. They're on the front side. I have to put them to the back. This is the ADF and squawk. So this is the ADF for the twin ADFs on it. And I was going to talk to you about the ADFs. It was something I wanted to tell you about them. We're going to stick with the 2 twin ADFs anyway, just because some of the machines have the twin clocks in them. That's why we need 2. This is going to be the audio panel. I switched it over to these flip switches. Once again, I ran out of buttons. But the flip switches will be fine because it'll be COM1 on or off. Because there's only audio on COM1 or the other. And then these will be nav, the beacons, to hear them beeping or whatever. So they can be, they're individually on and off. And ADF, the same thing as well for the beeping on them. That is pretty much my panel. So now it's a matter of spending a day or so, and I have to test everything. I got to test all these lights and all these switches too. So I've got to test all of these, and then it's a matter of just soldering it together. I'm going to make you a little video after this. I'll touch it onto about navigation radios and that. I sort of looked it up, and there's a whole history of it, and it'll only take me a minute. And it might just clear up stuff in case we come across anything else with navigation. All right, so I'm going to pause this. Alrighty, Dizzle. Here's a quick little video I'm just making to show you the best that I can figure out, or the simplest way to try and explain to you the whole nav thing. This, once again, is the -7. I keep forgetting that you probably don't have this. So now that I know you sent me the email that I can download all the stuff, I'll start uploading stuff. I'll put a little text file in where they go and what you should do with them. Some of them you should overwrite, and some of them you shouldn't overwrite if you're just going to copy my stuff in. So the navigation thing, originally they really just did fly-by sight, so they didn't fly at night because there was no big cities or anything, unless they were just doing that. So they would fly from, like if they were flying down the coast, they would look for lighthouses and stuff like that, and they only had basic navigation, which is a compass. So the next thing they did was they started putting out beacons, which are the ADF. So that's why the frequencies are 3 numbered frequencies. So I presume they're either UVF or AVF. So it's just basically a ping that comes out, and we know at this stage it just affects these arrows, causes them to point directly to them. This plane, which seems to be commercial planes, larger planes, especially the older larger planes, had 2 AVFs in them. They seem to be a single if it's just for recreational planes or that, but if they're commercial or anyway commercial, they seem to have 2. So that's just literally a single, where's my map? A single point, like one of these here, that's just putting out a signal, and the plane just points at it. And so that was the first form of directional radio that they had. So then the next one, what they did was they got, let me go back to this, they got this VOR here to be able to ping out when it puts out 2 signals. It puts out one signal that actually just points the plane at it, which is the original one anyway. But it puts out a second signal that radiates. It rotates. It's a rotating signal, and the signal on the navigation radios is able to pick this up, and it's able to tell the point, the direction point between there and the plane. And the adjustment on that, on the OBS that we do spin, which is this guy down here, that affects this guy here. When we spin this causes this bar to go back and forward. You'll see if I point it at the radial, it'll pick up whatever it's connected to. It should point 1. Hopefully something's connected. I probably don't have a radio number in there. But what would happen is once that starts to point at it, that would pull directly to that point. So what that enables you to do is when you set that clock by spinning it, that changes the radial. Instead of you going directly from this point to this point, it starts spinning the radial to go out this way. So if you set it for 360 on that, it would spin the radial out this way, which means your plane would then start to try and fly at that line. And it would fly at that line until this bar here, because it would be on, if it was true to that map, that bar would be on this side. And as soon as we get to that line, that will start to line up and come to the center of that. That would mean we're exactly on that parallel with that. So it means you could either turn and come in at that radial, or you could use that to tell you where you are and move on. So that's the second one, what they did with the radios. The third one is this guy, which we were looking at the other day, and I knew about it. This is the DME. And what a DME is, it's the exact same as one of these, only it's a more modern one. So this one also puts out the first beep, which just tells you where you are. It puts out the second one that tells you the directional, the radial on it. But it's able to tell the difference and tell you how far you are from that point to you. So it's able to beam you back that signal and tell you the distance. And because it does that, it also gives you an average flight time it's able to give you. And it gives you your airspeed. It doesn't actually give you your heading, but it might be just something in a button that you have to press or something. And that's basically the top end of radios. And after navigation, after that, you're just going to go straight to the GPS. And this is the modern GPS, which is fairly simple. You understand how these work, sticking with boats and everything else. And then the other one before that, that's on the older planes, is the CMD, which is the computer system that you program on the 747s. It's pretty much the same as this. It just doesn't do picture maps or that on it, but whatever you program into that is also goes straight into the autopilot for you to fly under navigation or GPS. As you see that switch there, says what you're telling the autopilot to do. I had actually forgotten about that switch. I just lamped that onto our pilot switches there. I'm gonna have to wait to see when that whole thing is together and see what I'm missing or what I might not be missing. But that's just a rundown on how the navigation works and how I guess it's gone over time. The different clocks, as you see, are just, go away you, come on buddy. The different clocks that you see, like these clocks and all of these, they're all just related to the different radios. They're just older versions. Like that's the newer version, that's the older one, that's an older version, and that's a really old one because that one just actually swings left to right to tell you that you're on the signal. This one actually will tell you when you're flying down whether you're left or right or up or down, because that's for a glide slope. I mean, when you're getting into an airport, that's a tunnel that you fly down. But this one also does that, and this one does all three of them. I don't know whether that makes any sense, but it'll help you out when you start goofing around with navigation, I hope. At least you'll be able to. And the weird thing as well, the different planes, they don't look the same, the gauges. There was no like mass market or anything on it. With the result that some planes will have 2 AVDFs, some of them will come with 2 GPSs. You'll see even the Cessna and that for some reason or other comes with like no ADF on the older ones, but comes with 2 GPSs in it. So there's some type of rules, I presume, in aviation about redundancy when you're flying, so I presume why that stuff is doubled up and not doubled up. But I haven't really found any 2 planes that are the same, that have the same equipment in them, and I've been looking at a bunch. Alrighty, well that's about all that's going on. I'm really looking forward to getting these panels going. It looks like there's going to be a few long nights of trying to solder all that together and then be back to programming it. I think I told you already, they're all running on the megas. I only have 3 megas now running, and the nano, so I'm probably going to have to put 2 or the Uno is running the radio stack, and I'm probably going to have to put 2 nanos on the switching and the light box, because I have 6 nanos left but I have no more megas, and I don't really want to wait. Alrighty, Dizzle. Here's a quick little video I'm just making to show you the best that I can figure out, or the simplest way to try and explain to you the whole nav thing. This